All right. All right. Look like we are definitely in business. Well, you know how it go. I am actually on Facebook. All right. Look like we are definitely in business. Okay, we know how we do this here. Let me set this up real quick. Well, well, forget it. All right. Well, I am doing two things at the same time. I am on Facebook for the first time. Just decided to try this out a little bit here. And also I am broadcasting on YouTube at the same time. Thanks to the information I got from my most favorite dark-skinned activist, my sister, Rashida Strobel. Thank you, Rashida. Take a week off from YouTube, social media. Take a rest. You're working too hard. Well, it looks like I'm in business. And let's get this party started. In the name of my ancestors. Peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the host or the gatekeeper of this program, known here around the world due to social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty, mighty, mighty Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. With that said, I thank you so much for joining me at this time. If not, whenever you do have time to listen to these few words, and I must say that it is an honor every time anyone allows me to have an opportunity to speak with each and every one of you. It is an honor, and I am certainly most grateful. I want to apologize for being a bit fatigued, but that's how it has been for me within the last few weeks. But I want to talk. I have something to say. And as they say in show business, the show must go on. The title or the subject that I've chosen for these few minutes, and we're not going to be here very long. The topic is the southern states of America belong to Black people. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about actually belonging, but we should be in control of those states. And I'm going to show you and tell you why. We should not be in this condition that we find ourselves in, economically depraved, having much income, but yet we're still on the bottom rung of this society. And we have been here going on 500 years and nobody obeys. And we have created no law, nobody obeys, but yet we're supposed to be equal citizens. You know, why is all this? Why has this happened to us? Well, for me, it's about payback. It's about regaining what you lost, regaining what you should have had. So as many of you know, I have submitted a proposal to us. And I also directed that proposal towards the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In fact, just yesterday, I mailed him a DVD presenting that proposal. And for those of you who are interested, this proposal is on YouTube right now. It's on YouTube right now. You can probably go into the description box of this video. Well, not Facebook right now. I will put it in the Facebook video. But The title of the video is called Brother Farrakhan, Let's Take Control of the State of Mississippi. I want you to watch that. Just take your time. Listen to what I have to say. And whether you agree or not, begin the discussion and start talking. Because I'm telling you, I don't know how much time we have left, but we as a people need to become a people and begin to act and behave like a people to take the appropriate steps. Otherwise, you never know. Things are comfortable and it seems loving right now. That could change in a heartbeat, and you have a crazy, wacky, childish president. You don't know what might be coming at our shores within the next few days. You don't know. And if you're not prepared, you think slavery was something. You think natural disasters is incredible to go through. You have, and I have seen nothing. We probably can't even imagine. That's why we are all la-di-da. But I sent this proposal, went to the post office, and it just so happened that this post office has, well, I didn't see any Caucasian people there or anybody else. I just saw brothers and sisters, soul brothers and sisters. And I'm mailing the DVD to Brother Farrakhan. And the employee that is working with me, he looks at the envelope. He said, you're sending something to Minister Farrakhan. I don't mean to be nosy. What you sending to Minister Farrakhan? Well, it's no secret because I just told you. I sent him a video with my proposal. It's on YouTube. So I told the brothers and sisters there, my proposal is on YouTube. You can watch that. But I simply told them what I'm presenting to Brother Farrakhan. And basically, it's very simple. We want to take control of a state. No more, no less. I didn't say own it. I didn't say rebuild it. None of that stuff. I said we need to take control. Take control of the political system. Take control of the law, the way things are done there, so it can favor us. And in doing so, you can imagine all the doors that open for us, all the things that you talk about, the education and the trade with Africa, building your own. This is the beginning in the process of all those things, bringing it to a reality. It's time. It's time. But it's not up to me. It's not up to Brother Farrakhan. Are we as a people, are we ready? Well, we should be ready. You should be ready to change your condition. It's going on 500 years. We need to do this. And I understand there are much lesser goals. But for me, we need to go for the gusto. Give it all you got. You're gonna win. We're gonna win. Let me check something out real quick. Check something out real quick. This, of course, is live stuff here. I didn't do something. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Oh, wow. Let's see. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Well, anyway, we're just gonna have to work with what I got. Okay, so just gonna have to work with what I got. I didn't pull up my my chat room on my YouTube. Anyway, for those who are in the chat room, I can't see you right. Oh, yes, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, there go my oh, that's what happened. Okay. Well, nobody's in the chat room anyway, so I don't expect nobody to be in the chat room. I did not expect to be talking right now anyway. Okay, let's deal with this, what I want to present to us. So I did present the idea to those employees that was at the post office, brothers and sisters, and they told me just based on the idea, that's what we need to do. That's what I'm talking about. And they hope that Brother Farrakhan would embrace that idea. It's really the only way to go. How are we going to get the job done? It's various ways. But this must be done. This condition that we're in must change. There's no doubt about that. Just agree to the fact this must be done. And understand the benefits. That at one time, you didn't have no power at all, no kind of influence. But taking the control of a state, you've just gained incredible power overnight. Now you got a voice. When you talk about reparations, you have the voice of a state backing you up. When you talk about the government needs or another state needs to release our political prisoners, now you have a real voice because a state backs you up. You are also going to prove that you can build a nation and you can maintain a nation, and that when they come here, we will have the lowest crime rate, the best food, the best of everything. You and I can prove that we can be the gods and the goddesses and the warriors and all these things y'all talk about, because right now it's only talk. I'm a god. The black man is God. The black woman is God. I'm a warrior. And what's this other stuff y'all talking about? I'm a king and a queen. You don't have no kingdom to rule. You can barely run your family. Here's the opportunity. Since you can talk all this game. Well, here you go. Do it. Bring the power of God. Don't you think God wants you to have actually more than just this? What's holding you back? What's holding you back is yourself, because you really don't believe. You talk and say that you're a god and a warrior and a king and a queen. You can talk it, but actually practicing that, being that, that's a whole different ball game. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad always taught, show and prove. Prove to me. You cannot control the state of Mississippi. What kind of God are you? When you say God created the universe and you can't take the control of a little state, says a lot about you. Now, this is the thing. We should already be in control of most of these southern states anyway. The descendants of slaves born in America, having dark skin, the people that I call soul people. We should already control Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, perhaps Florida, North Carolina, wherever we had a high slave population, we were in large numbers. We already should be doing these things anyway. Matter of fact, we do have large numbers in some places, but we still don't control nothing, and there's a reason why. Because, well, basically because we're Negroes. And we don't think like free people. Our ancestors was trying to be free. They were striving to be free, understand what that was. And they was using their oppressor as an example, and they were going for political power. But look, see, this is what happened. Let's start with the end of slavery. And see these Caucasian people come with their dumb arguments. Oh, they make me so sick. Because here we are, we've been here 500 years. And the first thing some Caucasian person will say, or somebody, some immigrant, well, I just got here and I got so-and-so and I got so-and-so. You've been here going on 500 years. Why you guys don't have so? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why we don't have so-and-so. So physical slavery ends, correct? And what you call the Freedmen's Bureau is created. And they also created, I think within that bureau, the Freedmen's Bank for all these different slaves. They want you to work and put your money in their bank. Mistake. So many of these people because now they feel as though they are being embraced by the dominant society, general society. They're going to trust the people that just enslaved them with their money. And of course, as you know, they stole thousands and thousands of dollars from these poor people. How dirty can you be? That's dirty. And then, of course, you know, many of our people, including my ancestors, they were sharecroppers. They rented the land, or they was buying, paying to rent to buy, or however it was working things out. And of course, many of the slaves, they could not read and write or nothing like that. And of course, as far as these Caucasian landowners was concerned, they never ever was able to pay their debt off. Well, you know, you still owe me $100. Oh, you owe me $200. I just gave you $200. Well, actually it was $300. And these some dirty, low down ass people, and y'all actually want to sit around here and live with them. They have not changed. They still do that same kind of dirty crap. Oh, they don't? Didn't we just have the that financial collapse and all those houses they put dark-skinned people in knowing they couldn't afford it? And all our people, a lot of our people, basically dark-skinned people, you lost your house. Same type of crap. Same thing. Modern times, same thing. They have not changed. Redlining, redistricting, different things. So your home value is always on the lower spectrum of things. Same crap. And you tolerate this. You would rather live with all these things, least to say, if your son is out on the block, some crazy cop shoot him in the brain. He was going for a gun. That was a Pepsi soda in his hand. Oh, what? Well, golly, I didn't know. You want to continue to live that type of way. I don't understand. I don't understand people who actually want to live with those who rape them, lynch them, enslave them, castrated, burn you at the stake, all kinds of evil, do all kinds of evil to us. And y'all actually, I don't know if you really like it, but I guess you don't have no choice. It's sort of like your dog. Your dog was born into this. If your dog was a wild animal, there's no way you could keep that dog in your house. That dog would be trying to escape as soon as that dog get a chance. But when you're born in captivity, and see, that's what our problem is. We were born in captivity. You and I have never known what freedom is. We talk about it, but we really don't know what that is. That's why when I say, let's make this move. What? How? What you mean? It reminds you of the runaway slave. The runaway slave said, I got to go. I ain't gonna stand here no longer. And the other slave like, what? Who? What you mean? Because they comfortable. Yeah, they know they get treated bad. They do a lot of work. But see, you don't understand the concept of money and having things anyway. Slave life is all that you know. So yeah, you giving free labor, but this is just a way of life. So, you don't know. So I understand when people question, well, you should question anything. But when people really are acting like they have a hard time comprehending when we simply are saying we want to take control of this state. We are looking at this as a war situation. We are going to war. We are invaders. We are going to conquer that state and make it ours. It's a military action. But for a slave, military action? Slave don't know about no military action. The only thing slave know is picking cotton, fixing a fence. It's way above military action. Who gonna do that? I know I's not gonna do that. My slave don't like me to be in no military. So you had the Freedmen's Bureau. And our ancestors was done so dirty, low down. They stole their money. So I'm going to tell these peckerwoods, you see what your ancestors done? You expecting us to be in such a good condition when your ancestors stole our money from the very beginning and did us like that. Prior to Abraham Lincoln said that the government should give the slaves 40 acres and a mule. They didn't give us nothing. After the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, you know, the next president and the Congress that came in, we ain't giving them slaves nothing. Now, what many immigrants don't tell you is a lot of these people that come from overseas right now to this day, they get all kinds of welfare, all kinds of different programs for them. Many of them don't start off with nothing. And I know this because many of those immigrants told me what they get and bragged about it. I just came here on a boat. I get this and I get that and blah, blah, blah. Here I am, an American citizen, and I ask for something. You get all this stack of papers that you got to sign. And when it's all said and done, you don't qualify. There's a reason for that. Can't you see, brothers and sisters? We are hated. We have not done nothing to these people. But you are hated. And you want to continue to keep your destiny in the hands of these bastards that don't love you. And you want to question an activity that will take you up out of this situation once and for all. You want to question. Again, it's good to question. I know that you're scared and you don't understand because you're slave. Domesticated slave. Slave is all that you know. Are you sure you know? Are you sure you knows what you're doing? You never asked the cracker. Are you sure what you, when the cracker, the peckerwood asked you to go to war, go to Iraq, Vietnam, North Korea, wherever, do you ask him, or do you know what you're doing? You want me to go out here and kill folks for you? Are you sure you? Whatever they do with your tax money, are you asking these people, what are you doing with our money? You ain't asking them nothing. But as soon as another dark-skinned person says something, is you sure you know what you want to question everything? You want to do research? You want to put everything under a microscope? And you should. But you should also do your enemy that way too, but you don't. You should do the preacher like that, but you don't. You should question your religion, but you don't. You don't want to question nothing except what is good for you. So they did not give us 40 acres and a mule, even to this day. And so here you are living with your abusers, and you should have the right to vote. You are a citizen. But there's a campaign in the southern states, really all over the country, but especially focused. And this is another thing. When we think about Jim Crow and we think about segregation, we always think about the southern states. It was the same kind of stuff going on in other places in the United States. There were at least 4,300 lynchings in America. Not only in the South, but in many places all over this country. Brother Malcolm X, remember his father, Malcolm X's father was killed in Nebraska, right? Or Omaha, Nebraska, right? That's not the South. But they was treated like they was living in the South. So this is not a Southern thing. This is a problem. And remember, the federal government did nothing when they stole your money, our ancestors' money, when the Freedmen's Bureau was created. They did not give us 40 acres and a mule. The government was also involved in this evil and wickedness towards us. This stops your progress because even though our ancestors could not read and write, They was on the lower totem pole of the ladder, the rung of the ladder. They still was doing the do. They still was progressive. And the crackers, the slave owners, ex-slave owners, these races was like, how are these people doing this? They can't read, they can't write. They are actually winning public offices. Oh, this got to, they are creating successful businesses, creating beautiful towns. We got to do something about this. And that's what it was all about. That's what it was all about. We have to stop our slaves from becoming a power where they once was slaves. They didn't give us nothing. So in the South, there was a campaign, and there was the creation of the Ku Klux Klan. And you keep targeting the Ku Klux Klan. The state, the federal, it was more, the Ku Klux Klan was just an organization. Laws was created by the state, the local municipalities, the government itself. And the federal, this dirty federal government. After the Civil War, as you know, the federal government had troops in the South to keep those rednecks from murdering and harassing the newly freed slaves. But of course, in order to please the southern states, the federal government said, oh, okay, well, you know, that's y'all business now. And they took the troops out. And that's when these devils start murdering and lynching, and it was domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism to do what? To keep our people from progressing, so that you could not control Mississippi or Alabama or Georgia or South Carolina or any of these places. We was doing it big. Could not read, could not write, but clearly we had something going on. And they was going to stop that. And this terrorism, wow. Don't these Caucasian people and some of y'all ignorant Negroes, don't you come in my face and tell me why we can't do this and can't do that. Our people was terrorized in the South until from that time till the 1960s. To the 1960s, it didn't really stop. So you had what was called the Great Northern Migration. Many brothers and sisters, including my family, packed up their bags because of the terrorism in the South and ran up north, Chicago, places in Illinois, Michigan, or they went west. Some of them went to California, down to Texas, and any place, New York, went to the East Coast, any place, but basically up north. That's why it was called the Great Northern Migration. They went up. Ohio, a lot of factories and things was being created, and they went there to escape the terrorism of the South. Now, so the question is, if our ancestors was not terrorized, what would they have created? Nobody wants to speak about that. There were forces, the government itself, and these states terrorized our ancestors. And look at the length of time that they've done this. They lied, they cheated, they murdered, all that to us for hundreds of years. And now these suckers want to come to us. Why y'all ain't doing this? Why y'all ain't doing that? And they still doing forms of it. Ain't nothing, like I told you, nothing changed. They still doing it. Look at all the brothers in the penal system, in the criminal justice system. And I was there too. They was waiting for me. Oh, you ain't no different. Come on. Here's your turn. You can here. What's your number? 377. Almost, I forgot what my number was. They give you a number, you know, when they lock you up. You don't have a name anymore. They give you a number. They terrorize our people to stop them from voting. They terrorized us to keep us from even getting the vote, to register. Why is that important? That's important because if our people could vote and they were in some type of unison, they would put themselves in the council seats in the local towns, even the governor's mansion. They would control the state of Mississippi by a vote. Our ancestors suffered, bled, and died for the right to vote. And here we are in 2018. We don't want to vote, or we don't vote properly. We don't vote in a manner that can give us the power that your enemies are afraid that you will get. That's what it was all about. They knew if these ex-slaves and their children would just use the power to vote, they would control. These races would have to obey the law and be under the control of ex-slaves. They wouldn't have it. That's what that was all about, and that's what it's all about right now. You can go in almost all black cities, all cities that have a large population of soul people, and the Caucasian people are the mayors. They are the ones in the council seats. How is the population? How is your population? The majority is dark-skinned people, and you got these things running the show, making the laws that you follow. You ain't making no laws or nothing. Only thing you doing is, I vote for so-and-so. I vote. That's all you do. But you don't create and make the laws. Problem there. The problem goes back, slave mentality. You think like a slave. But even our ancestors wasn't thinking like a slave. They was moving and grooving. But see, that's where now we come into the picture. We come into the picture because we are in a position to do what our ancestors could not do. We are citizens of this nation. You have the right to vote. It's very simple. You go into a state like Mississippi, and hopefully all the brothers and sisters there get on board the soul train. If they do not, makes no difference. Then this is a national effort because this activity will benefit the whole 40 to 70 million dark-skinned people in this nation. So we would bring in our own soldiers. I call them soldiers. They become residents of the different counties in the state of Mississippi, become a resident, register to vote, and keep bringing our people in. So it don't make no difference what they do. They cannot overcome our population that we keep bringing in. They vote, we win all the council seats in all the little towns, and we win the governor's mansion just with our vote. And when that happens, woo, I can't even describe, man. I can't. See, look, let me tell you something, and I'm going to end this. I don't have to go to Kemet to be proud of myself and my ancestors. I don't have to go to Kemet, Timbuktu. I don't have to talk about what happened 76 trillion years ago. When I think about how strong and how smart, look, our people just came out of slavery. That's all they knew. Didn't have no money. Just told you they didn't give us a damn thing. But they looked inside of themselves, the God inside of themselves. And they still was able, straight out of slavery, they were doing much better than the ex-slave owners. Beautiful towns. I heard one of our towns had air conditioning before anybody else in the nation. Doing real well. Smart people. And you know our ancestors work with their hands, always inventing stuff and doing things. I don't have to talk about going back to Africa and the kings and queens of Africa. I don't have to do that. I am a child of a slave. I'm proud of it. our people are bad, considering the condition that we came from up out of. I have no problem with that. And that's a history that I know about. All this other stuff, it's wonderful. I guess it's nice to know, but those slaves that was treated so horrible, but they still, they kept it strong, still kept it, the real gods, the real warriors, in a messed up condition. Here we are, walking on their shoulders. You have more money, you are better educated, everything, and you can't do a damn thing. How can a slave the only reason why the slaves could not do more is because they had races. They was under terrorism. Here you are. I mean, we still are under a certain terrorism, but not like the kind that our ancestors faced. And you can't do nothing. You don't want to vote. You go to the back of the bus. You don't want to get educated. Why? Why I gotta go to school, mama? It's very sad. Some of y'all want to go back to Africa, which you never been. How you gonna go back to a place you never been? Our ancestors probably came from there, but you and I, we don't know nothing about it. But the main thing is, we have our ancestors. You are walking on our blood, sweat, and tears right here. So you mean to tell me we just supposed to ignore the hell and the sacrifice and the suffering our ancestors that might be alive right now? Your grandfathers and grandmothers and granduncles, people who went through Jim Crow, who are alive right now. Everything they suffered, we just supposed to ignore, right? We just supposed to ignore their suffering and jump to Africa, to a foreign place we don't know nothing about. I say that we can make our grandfathers and people who went through the civil rights movement, who suffered Jim Crow and the Black Code, those who are still alive right now, we can make them proud by taking the control of a state that lynched them, stole from them, lied on them, murdered them, castrated, and all kinds of evil. And a government that's no better. They will be so proud, say, wow, look, I wish we was able to do that. Well, grandfather, we got this. We got this. You want to beg the devil to try to do you right. The United States owe us reparations. They ain't gonna give you nothing. Didn't you see they didn't give us 40 acres and a mule? What make you think they're gonna give us some kind of reparation? They're not going to give you nothing. You're gonna have to take it. You don't have an army. You don't have no weapons of mass destruction, but you have your vote. Not only your voting power, you have many other tools that you can use. If you were smart, if you stopped thinking like a damn slave. And one of the baddest things, one of the humongous things that we could do is take control of a state. Woo, y'all just, oh man, I wish you could see what I see. I'm not saying that it's easy, but you got to look at it that we are at war. And war requires suffering and sacrifice. Wars require somebody has to die sometimes. Well, not sometimes. People die. But when you look at the prize, what is the prize? The prize is that mountaintop that Dr. King said, I may not get there with you, but I've been to the promised land. I've been to the mountaintop. How do you think this is going to happen? We got to do it. Ain't no aliens, ain't no spaceships. Nothing is going to change our condition. If you believe in God, God don't help you unless you help yourself. And you don't want to help yourself. You want to take baby steps. We've been taking baby steps for the last 500 years. We need to take something big. Our people, you need a win. All these losses. The civil rights movement was good, but we were losers. All our struggles was nice, but we still end up to be the loser because our enemy, he did his thing. But see, we should have all about, this is 2018. All those little tricks, all the little type of thing, you smarter. You're supposed to be smarter now. So where our ancestors couldn't get the job done in 2018, because we're smarter, we're wiser, we're tougher. You say that you're a god and a goddess and a warrior and a king and a queen. Well, damn it, get off our ass. Let's do it. The only thing stopping you is yourself. You don't have no faith in yourself. You have lied to yourself talking about, I'm a king. King of what? I'm a queen. Queen of what? What do you rule? What do you own? Nothing. Make it a reality. This is the reality's temple. The purpose that I'm here is because we need to keep it real. You are not a god. You're not a goddess. You're not a king and a queen. Never was. In fact, you act right now a worse slave than our ancestors was. Because as soon as they got an opportunity, they made big moves. They made moves where the government and states had to say, we got to stop them. And they chose physical brute force. They didn't even try to use economics against them because they had no economics. So with that said, brothers and sisters, look, the only thing we have to do is do it. Have faith in yourself. Or just shut up and stop making these claims and all these old teachings. I'm a god and you ain't, yeah, right. Yeah, you're a god, all right. God of the cesspool, you full of. You know, that's why people don't want to come and talk, listen, be around me, because I got to keep it real. You know, you cowardly and you're lazy and you're just a slave. Come on, let's run away. What? Run away? Why? See, that's you. That's you. In 2018, take over a state. What? Why? Who? I'm not even angry at you. I know, because I know you just don't. I mean, I know. I know. You can't help what you are. You can't help what you are no more than your dog. When you kick your dog, say, get out of here, Rover. And your dog tries to hold on to the door. Right? Go outside. I don't want to go out. That's the way you are. Because he lives in the house. He don't want to go outside. Go outside for what? Most dogs go outside, take a leak, do what they have to do, and run right back in the house, quick as possible. That's what you don't want to leave this house. They can shoot you down. These people can go back to just outright shooting you down in the street, lynch you. They can go back doing what they done to our ancestors, and you'll protest. Why y'all doing that to us? Why y'all? They've been doing it to you for 500 years. Why? do they need a reason why? You know, look at your skin color. That was the only reason why. They don't need a reason why. They could outright lynch you, shoot you, castrate you, and do all the stuff they was doing back in the day, and you'll still be here. Why is they doing this to us? We citizens. And you think it's funny, but one day you might wake up and there's a cross burning in your yard. Donald Trump said, Woo! It's a return back to the good old days. Good old days for them, but it won't be for you. And maybe it wouldn't be so bad if you had went out and took control of a state and created a safe haven for yourself, a place where you can feel comfortable, a place you can control, a place where you can make heaven on earth. But you talk about heaven, but where do you think heaven is going to come from? The Bible said the heaven on earth is in you. Heaven is in you. You're going to create it. How are you going to create heaven if you want to stay living in hell? Don't make sense to me. It makes sense to a slave. We all in this together. We all in this together. Well, if we all in this together, how come it's more black bodies in prison, and when you go to the morgue, there's a whole lot of black bodies there too? But we all in this together. Where is the all at? Well, I'm going to keep promoting and asking us, and I'm going to spend my own money for advertising. Our people need to know. I don't know about you, but our people need to know. They cannot make a choice about something that they don't know anything about. So I need to do whatever I can to put the word out to the all 40 to 70 million dark-skinned people in this nation, to let them know this is on the table. If you do it, you win really, really big. But it's going to take a lot of strategy, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of suffering. But when you do it, woo, man. And all y'all other ones that's scared, you know, you let the more brave folks let us go in and take care of business, and here you come. Well, that's all right. I understand that you're being scared and you really don't understand. It's cool. It's cool. I'm looking for the brave ones, the soldiers, the warriors, the gods. That's who I'm looking for. Y'all little timid folks. Are you sure you want to do that? Don't you want to do this? You know, take it easy. Boom, boom. That's me. Let's do this. Like Donald Trump, let's drop these damn bombs. Do it and get it over with. How long you want to continue this madness? Another 500 years? You should be sick of it. And if you don't do nothing about it, the only thing we're doing is pass this down to your babies. Our children. Yeah, your children is my children's. As an adult, I have a responsibility to all the young people. Just like Brother Malcolm. Brother Malcolm did what he had to do to try to make my life better. And Dr. King and Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner and all our greats. Known and let us not forget the people who we don't know nothing about. Malcolm couldn't do it by himself. Martin, Elijah Muhammad, they had people help them. We may not know who their names is, but our ancestors did a lot to try to change our condition. And as an adult, now it's your turn. Otherwise, you are a poor example, poor, pathetic piece of trash parent. Want your children to continue to live like this? How could you be so mean to do your baby like that? Bring them into a world of wolves, and you know damn well, and there's nothing that you can do. You're doing nothing to stop the wolves from eating your babies. What kind of parent are you? And you love them. Yeah, right. I don't want your kind of love. With that said, jot down your comments. Thank you, YouTube, for being in the house. If anybody was in the house, let me check real quick. Yeah, a few people stopped by YouTube. Doing this for the first time, YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Thank you, Sister Rashida Strober, for showing me how to do this. Appreciate it. Rashida Strober, of course, is the world's first dark-skinned activist. I want y'all to, if you get time, check out her page, Rashida Strober. Look her up, Rashida Strober, dark-skinned activist. Yeah, check out my sister Rashida. And let's talk, let's discuss this. Let's put it on the table. You can at least talk about it and spread the word. Get our people from the East Coast, West Coast, North and the South. Let us talk about this thing. Let's get the discussion instead of talking about makeup and boxing and who is beefing with who. Sonetta hates Polite, Polite hates Sonetta, Young Pharaoh hates Nature Boy, all this other garbage y'all got going on, when we need to be concentrating on serious things. You don't understand. This is a life and death situation. Maybe not for us physically, but definitely in the eyes of the world, we continue to look like a dead people. But I guarantee you, you take control of a state, ain't nobody gonna look at you the same way again. Never. You have joined it's a whole new ball game. And you would be so proud of yourself. You'd be like, wow, we should have had somebody come up with this idea a long time ago. They did. Our ancestors was trying to do that. The racists used terrorism to stop them, to stop their progress. Now we have to pick up the flag, the mantle, and take it on up. So Dr. King will be correct when he said they finally made it to the promised land. Thank you for listening. Jot down your comments. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, come and friend me on Facebook. Let's put the word out and let's get this party started. And let's get the brothers and sisters on the soul train. I am Angel Snub 7. And as Don Cornelius always used to say in pardon, I wish us love, peace, and soul. All right. Let's end this. Let's end this.